Hey, what's up? This is vlog number 4. Um, so this vlog, I wanted to talk a little bit about the business side of, I guess, how I do business, and putting it underneath what you're seeing here, which is me getting some drone video. And when I go out to do these drone videos, I think a lot of times about this one guy that I had as a business mentor. And I would say one of the most impactful times that I was talking with him about the business and where I was trying to go, what were some of my obstacles, he just really bluntly laid it out in front of me that a lot of what I was doing in my business was probably not focused enough and probably time wasting. So, more or less, he told me, he's like, if you don't want to do all these other important things in your business, like focusing on your taxes, the accounting, doing the sales and marketing, the normal business stuff, then this is just a hobby business. It's not really going to grow, it's not going to scale, and that's fine if that's what you want. But if you want it to be a business, then you need to do the actual work on the business and do those parts that you don't either like or are very good at and figure that out quickly. And as crappy as it was to hear that in the moment, it's definitely helped me focus in a lot more on what's more important in my business and what I should be spending my time on. So, um, so this conversation led me to listening to a book called The E-Myth, and I feel like this general breakdown of entrepreneurship or business ownership, however you want to put it, really resonated with me and also just kind of highlighted what I need to do. So in the book, the author talks about the 3 personalities that every business owner should inhibit or has to some degree. And the first is the technician. The technician is the mentality of doing the specific job or work. So it's the thing you're really good at and just doing that one thing. So in this, it's going out and getting video. It's doing the editing. The very specific task that is maybe the skilled labor, right? The second personality is the entrepreneur. And with that, it's the more strategic and general overview of your business. It's the visionary, the looking ahead type figure. So, I guess I don't really know what else in video to compare it to other than maybe like a director or a writer, the business owner that's requesting that's trying to hire for a video. That's the person who has this, grand idea of we want to use this thing in all these different ways. So this is how we're going to do it, right? And then the manager is the one that ties the two together. So, I look at this a lot of times as maybe the producer or like a DP of a shoot where it's like, okay, you're trying to tie in all these different factors to make the videos happen, right? You've got to line up the editors, the gaffers, the camera operators, all that stuff to bring it home, right? So when you're looking at your own business and like who the manager is, like what type of tasks would they do? I think a lot of times the very unsexy parts of doing your job is that. So at least for me, I think a lot of what the manager personality entails is general accounting, but then also like sales and marketing. And when I say sales and marketing, I mean the like actual direct outreach where I'm cold calling, I'm cold emailing. Do you get on Production Hub or do you do Thumbtack? Those type of decisions and tasks. So I feel like I'm not necessarily alone in probably operating very similar to this. I feel like a lot of creative individuals are really good at coming up with the ideas, being that entrepreneur in their thing, and then also being the technician where you're really good at capturing the video or doing the editing, but it's all the like working on the business that tends to suffer. And for sure that's been the muscle that's probably the weakest in my business and growing it. So in lieu of that, I've been trying to work on that. Whenever I meet people and they're like, "Oh, how long have you been in business?" The answer is, I think technically it's over 6 years now. It might be 7. But I really only count the past 2 years as being like the real business years and where I'm actively treating this as a true business, putting in that time and effort, focusing on sales, and developing those timelines and schedules where when I meet with a client, this is the way we're going to work together. This is what we're going to do from start to finish, and more or less, you can depend on me to get the job done start to finish. So that's what a lot of lately has kind of been, and I feel like this is also a frustrating part to be in for your business because you want to that there's jobs to focus on, but also taking the time to get those marketing pieces and develop your business so that it looks cohesive, and you're just giving your clients or your potential clients as many good reasons to click on your website and to send that email to you as possible. So what you're seeing is pretty much me doing some drone work that is, one part to, kind of build up my YouTube channel. That's kind of the container that I've put it in, so that it's like usable and it gets out there. But I look at that also as like the marketing piece. So, all these drone videos that I'll post on my channel, these are for not just me to go out and be like, oh, cool, I've got a drone, I get some cool shots. But ideally, it's to, highlight that, hey, I have a drone and I know how to use it. I can get some good, beautiful footage. And then leveraging those type of videos to outreach to, different businesses, or to reach out to different businesses or anybody else that I think would be interested in some drone work. And something that I've noticed I really needed to do is after after flying the drone and, maybe even a little bit of editing to get it going, taking the time of the day to do some cold calling. Because as much as I hate cold calling, I think there's a few different benefits that come from it. And if nothing else, I think there's a few different benefits that come from it. And if nothing else, at least you're just getting more and more confidence to talk about your business to strangers and just develop that repertoire of, hey, this is who I am, this is what I do, and hopefully you want to go for it. So yeah, I think trying to do those cold calls and doing cold calls when you're not necessarily prepared isn't the right word, but if I only did cold calling when I felt like it, I would never do it because I get super nervous right before I do. You can probably see me when I'm making these calls. Like, there are key moments where I'm taking a big breath just to, calm the nerves. So, anyways, but ideally, it's also, you go in, you have a general idea of who you're calling, and you have a general idea of what you're trying to offer and connect that with the business. So, so this month is a month where I'm really trying to grow, gain some more clients for doing like symphony and orchestra work. And so because of that, I'm at different times looking up different orchestras and just doing some research on who they are, how much video have they done, and yeah, just do I think that they'll actually be able to use my services? So, okay, so to wrap this all up, marketing and sales, I think figuring out which of those three personalities you are, like really, I think figuring out which of those personalities you identify with most, and then working on the one that you identify least is probably the best mode. At least I think for myself, maybe for yourself as well. But working on your business as a business, I feel like can be very, very difficult. But once you get doing it, it's also tremendously rewarding. Like, I know that there's been a couple times where I've had a random encounter with a potential client, and it went really well. And I think, there's two that I can think of immediately where they became clients because I was prepared and I had these different pieces of my business ready to go and ready to present. And yeah, they responded to that. So yeah, work on your business. It kind of sucks, but it's what you got to do. And I know for myself, this is the work part of the job, because I know I got started doing videography because I was kind of in that mindset of like, do the thing you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And I think that's kind of BS. If you're going to make money in life, if you want to make a living doing anything, you just have to work and, work hard at it. But there's parts, ideally, if you do what you love, the parts that don't feel like work, like, actually filming or color grading the footage for me, then those parts don't feel like work. It's everything else. So at least you can spend hours doing the things that you do enjoy, and that is also very productive. So, all right. Well, this is just thoughts inside my head rolling around about my business and what I'm trying to do. So now they're out. Now you know. Hopefully they help you a little bit in any way. And yeah, if anything, I'll have another vlog soon, and I will see you then. Vlog number 4 in the bag.